Hi! Do you know that 150 million Americans live in areas that exceed one or more federal air quality standards? And out of those 150 million, 2.8 million children live in areas where CO standard is still steep. And based on American Lung Association, you know that air pollution contributes to 30,000 premature deaths each year in the US. And you know that in 2010, US government issued new regulation to reduce pollution for automobile. 52 billion is the estimated cost to car industry at the compliance of the program over 5 years. And we can benefit up to $240 billion benefits calculated from fuel saving, pollution reduction, and reduced oil import by the regulation. And do you also know that 30% is the number of heat-trapping gases that can be cut from 2012 to 2016 by the new regulation? And we can also save up to $3,000 amount of fuel expense that can be saved by a car owner of an average 2016 car. And in total, we can save $670 billion to $2.3 trillion from reduced fuel cost of vehicle emission dropped to 80% below 2005 levels. So, based on those informations, we would like to show you some of the dashboards and some of the prediction tools that is featured by Watson Analytical Tool. So, the first dashboard is called Vehicle Dashboard. So, as you can see in the top figure, that there are 3 different figures. These 3 different figures are interactive towards the filters that the audience would like to pick, which is located in the left side of the page. So, for example, we can pick LDV short wheelbase for the filter, and as you can see there, the number is changed. So, number of vehicles is also changed. The average fuel consumed per vehicle also changed, and average miles traveled per vehicle is also changed. So we go on to the next graph, which is a heat map. It allows to combine 3 variables in one visualization. In the x-axis, you can see the year. In the y-axis is the type of vehicles. So it represents average fuel consumed per type of vehicle in a particular year. The darker the color is, the more fuel consumed by that type of vehicle in that particular year. In the third graph, we put bar chart represents the ratio of miles traveled to fuel consumption. The graph shows that motorcycle has the most economical fuel consumption that is followed by a LDV short wheelbase. And lastly, shows combination graph that represents the US population versus the number of vehicles in 20 years. And as you can see there, both US population and the total numbers of car over 20 years is still having a increasing growth. So we can go to the next dashboard, which is Emission Dashboard. Just like we did before, we also provide numbers of filters that is consisted of types, years, and a fuel type. In the first graph, we made a line graph that represents the comparison of emission level generated by each of the vehicles chosen by the filters. The second figure illustrates emission level generated from each fuel type based on the choices that you chose. The next graph, which in the emission type proportion, shows the proportion of each vehicle given the choice of type of vehicles in a fuel type. The fifth graph, lastly, depicts the emission level of each type of transportation used by people to go to work. From this section, audience can get many information such as the emission level, numbers of users of each type of transportation, and the fuel consumed by each type of transportation. Lastly, we have a prediction tool that is used to predict a target variable with another variables in the data sets. The top pane shows you the score of your data quality and how many variables in the data sets that you can use to predict the target variable. The left pane shows you how many variables you want to use to predict the target variable. You can use either 1, 2, or all variables at once. The more variables you use to predict, the more predictive your model is. The less variable you use, it's easier to understand, but it's less predictive your model is. On the right hand side are the graphs that you can choose to make those visualizations. So, based on those analyses and models, we would like to have some recommendations. In total, we have 3 recommendations. So, the first one, based on the graph, it shows the LDV will generate more emission if you're stuck on traffic. So, our suggestion is be wise in choosing routes. Our second recommendation, based on our research, for LDV owners, newly manufactured vehicles generate less emission level. Because as it's shown in the graph, the latest version of LDV are designed to emit less emission. In recommendation 3, emission level are more better off if LDV users choose to use diesel rather than gasoline. Because as you can see in the graph, the relationship between the CO by the gasoline in LDV and the gasoline consumption have a negative relationship. It means that gasoline have more CO than the diesel. As you can see in the graph, diesel generate less emission than gasoline. So those are our recommendations. I hope you enjoyed it, and thank you for your attention. Goodbye.